A plane crashes in Treasure Key, Abaco, killing all passengers on board.
The plane exploded and burned. Everyone's dead.
The F&M addresses controversy surrounding one of its candidates. The PLP addresses crime in Nassau Village, a founding member of the PLP ailing and in need. And students showcase their talents at the National Art Festival. I'm Nikia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. Thanks for spending your Sunday evening with us. A tragic incident to report out of Abaco today. We can confirm that a plane crash in Treasure Key, Abaco has left all 4 passengers dead. Minister of Tourism and Aviation Vincent Vanderpool Wallace confirmed that a private aircraft crashed this afternoon, but could not release further details. However, our news team confirmed that the 2 couples and their 2 dogs were en route to the United States. NB12 understands that the single-engine Piper aircraft went down just minutes after it took off shortly after 1:30. The plane was still in the area of the airport when it went down and then exploded. The victims are said to be second homeowners on the island. According to former Treasure Key Chief Counselor Steve Pettikin, the pilot flew in and out of Treasure Key often and was familiar with the area. The couples were also said to be well known among the Treasure Key community. Pettikin was on the scene of the crash this afternoon and described it for our news team.
Crashed into the pine trees just to the north side of the runway. Everyone's dead. The plane is in pieces, all exploded, and one's burnt beyond recognition. So, from talking to some of the airport personnel, they said some pilots have talked about the strong winds upon takeoff. On landing, when they were landing, strong crosswinds. So strong winds, possibly could have had something to do with it. There's a lot of people here now who, especially from the Treasure Key area, who are familiar with these people. Everybody's in shock and disbelief, because, somebody that they knew. It's not just a tourist who just came and left, somebody who's been, live here part-time. So for the most part, the airport staff and people from Treasure Key knows them very well.
Again, 4 people have died in that plane crash at Treasure Key Airport in Abaco. Officials are not releasing the identities of those second home owners until the next of kin are notified. But Superintendent of Police Paul Roll said all of the passengers are believed to be Americans. You can pick up a copy of tomorrow's Nassau Guardian for more details on the crash. Also from Abaco, a 59-year-old man was murdered there yesterday. Police say the Charlie Boo Dundas Town resident was found in the area of the Road Traffic Department, Crockett Drive and Bay Street with a wound to the neck around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. He was taken to the Marsh Harbor Clinic where he later succumbed to his injuries. Abaco police are questioning 4 men in connection with the murder. Well, police on that island are also questioning a 32-year-old Murphytown man in connection with a separate incident involving assault with a deadly weapon. A resident of the Mud in Marsh Harbor was struck by a white Crown Victoria vehicle on Queen Elizabeth Drive, Marsh Harbor, just before 6 yesterday evening, according to police, who also said he received serious injuries and was taken to the local clinic for initial treatment, but was later airlifted to New Providence, where he is detained in hospital in serious condition. Well, in election news, since being nominated by the Free National Movement 3 months ago, Howard Johnson's South and Central Eleuthera nomination has faced little opposition. But that all changed 2 weeks ago after questions came up about his candidacy. While in Eleuthera this weekend for Johnson's constituency office opening, both Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham and Johnson sought to set the record straight. Here's Jasmine Bonamy.
He's known as one of the Free National Movement's dynamic new young candidates. But for weeks, rumors have swirled around the candidacy of Howard Johnson, and today he addressed those concerns.
Never mind the noise in the market. Never mind what they are saying about me on the internet, in the tabloid newspapers, and in whatever other medium they so choose. Howard Johnson is born here. He from here. He ain't going nowhere. He can run here. And he can vote here, and all of y'all who talking that foolishness out there, y'all dead scared. I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared.
That was Johnson's response to the rumors last night. The 34-year-old defended his candidacy in front of hundreds of party supporters. But NB12 also caught up with the candidate and Prime Minister Ingram earlier in the day. Ingram spoke to reporters moments after his plane touched down in South Eleuthera. Before heading to the rally site in Governor's Harbor, he defended the credibility of Johnson's nomination. Johnson was ratified by the FNM in mid-January, but questions arose about his nomination as some asked if Johnson was eligible to run for office, considering he was living outside of the Bahamas for years prior to his nomination. Both Ingram and Johnson say he was a student pursuing undergraduate and graduate degrees during his absence from the country, and under the Parliamentary Registration Act, he's eligible to seek office.
He lives here, he's a resident, he's in school in the United States, born and bred here, and some of the qualifications. He's fully Lutheran. He doesn't have any foreign parents. He's a Bahamian.
Prime Minister Ingram maintains Johnson was not only correctly nominated, but also is the right man to deliver South and Central Eleuthera to the FNM. For his part, Johnson told NB12 that the persistent questioning is nothing but political ploys conjured up by the Progressive Liberal Party.
Well, I personally don't like to delve into the PLP's business, but those rumors have been orchestrated and originate from the PLP, I believe. I've already passed every test of scrutiny in my party. I don't have to pass a test of scrutiny in the party that I'm not running for.
He adds that what initially was negative publicity turned out to be a blessing in disguise as it boosted his popularity.
I think it's enhanced our campaigning. I mean, especially I can use Facebook as an indicator. In the last week since this news story broke in the Punch, I think I've had over 200-300 friend requests on Facebook. They were coming in by the tens, but now they're coming in by the hundreds because a lot of people are becoming interested in who Howard Johnson is, those that didn't know so far. So it's not been hurting us, it's been helping us, and also because we've been staying on message. We've been positive throughout this entire campaign, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
The Eleuthera native's mom also defended her son. Former PLP stalwart Councillor Emily Petty also took the stage last night, saying there was no doubt of her son's status as a homegrown Eleuthera native. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
Now, Johnson's nomination was not the only topic of discussion at last night's rally. Ingram also highlighted several initiatives he plans to launch not only in Eleuthera but throughout the country as well. At the top of the list is the Heritage Tourism Initiative. Ingram says this particular program will mean a lot to the island of Eleuthera, which has a rich historic background.
The Heritage Tourism Industry and the Heritage Tourism Initiative will help to upgrade some of the infrastructure needed to enhance various heritage sites and the heritage experience. So we're going to need to spend quite a bit of money to get them up to scratch. Our Heritage Tourism Initiative will help communities to create and facilitate heritage tours by utilizing a mixture of incentives, small grants, and microloans.
Ingram told South and Central Eleuthera residents that the program could take South and Central Eleuthera to the next level.
I know that many islands in the Bahamas, including Eleuthera, are creating heritage tours and experiences such as visitors stopping by the Big Ben slave plantations near Bannerman Town, Ocean Hall Park, a mystical body of water located in Rock Sound, the banyan trees near Rock Sound, historic Cupid's Key and its old jailhouse, Haynes Institute, the Hatchet Bay Cave, the old storage silos, and Preacher's Cave. It is time for the Bahamas to go to the next level in terms of showcasing our heritage and culture. We will go through with this ambitious heritage tourism initiative, and I'm pleased to announce it here in the Island of Freedom.
Ingram also highlighted infrastructural upgrades the FNM plans to undertake if it wins the next general election. He says his party plans to build a gymnasium in Palmetto Point, as well as construct a community hospital in central Eleuthera. And on the education front, Ingram adds that additional dorms will be built near the College of the Bahamas' New Providence campus to accommodate more Family Island students. Well, over the past several years, the Nassau Village area has been identified police as one of the crime hotspots on New Providence, an area where many residents have found themselves either the victim of crime or close to someone who has been a victim of crime. Well, as the Progressive Liberal Party last night launched the campaign of Dion Smith in that area, party leader Perry Christie told supporters that the PLP is serious about cracking down on crime.
You know, Nassau Village, murders have doubled over the last 5 years. Can you imagine that? A real crisis. You felt it yourselves. I'm sure every one of you has lost a relative or a close friend to homicide, or if you haven't, I know you live in fear of one day something like that happening to you or to someone close to you.
Smith says he's been campaigning in the neighborhoods of Nassau Village and has listened to the concerns. High on that list are crime and jobs. Smith says the PLP has a plan beginning with Project Safe Bahamas and the creation of a community crime watch.
Now, I've heard the majority complain about job creation and crime, and I have assured them that the PLP has an innovative plan to create jobs and a tough plan to fight crime and reduce violence. I intend to work diligently with my colleagues to ensure that the plans and policies impact our constituency in Nassau Village. Now, I tell you, this government has fundamentally failed to keep you safe. Nassau Village and the Bahamas, you need a government. You need a government committed to fighting crime and keeping you safe all the time, not just around election time.
We cannot be passive about this terrible problem. We must get involved. This means now everyone, concerned residents, community leaders, clergy, the private sector, law enforcement, everyone working together. We need what we call safe havens for those who fear immediate violence. Operational ceasefire will offer focus on repeat offenders and real increased surveillance of those out on bail. We're also going to introduce what we call violence breakers.
Christie says violence breakers will encourage outreach workers with street credibility to train in conflict mediation and be available for consultation with at-risk residents around the clock. He added that only the PLP has a comprehensive plan to fight crime, as he says the Democratic National Alliance is clueless and the current F&M administration is out of touch with reality.